Okay, we're looking at area. There's a couple of important formulas for area. The first one is for squares or rectangles, and in that case you take the length times the width. For a square, all of the sides are congruent or the same. So if this side is 4, this side is 4, this side is 4, this side is 4. So the length times the width would be 4 times 4, and you get 16. For this square, same thing. You could just go 10 times 10 and you would get 100. The way they were showing it to you is setting up a ratio, squaring that ratio, and setting up a proportional equation. So let's do it their way. Let's set up a ratio for the sides. So our ratio for the sides is 4 over 10. I'm not pulling those numbers out of a hat. 4, 10, okay. The next step is to square it. 4 times 4, or 4 squared is 16, over 10 times 10, or 10 squared is 100. Okay, now we have our squared ratio for the sides, and we need to set up in a proportional equation. So for the little one, the little square, the area, we put the little one on the top in this, and so for the sides, so we're going to put the little one's area on the top as well. So the little one's area is 16. They will not always be the same number. And then we need to solve for the area of this larger square. So we are going to put a variable. Let's say a for the area. Then we cross multiply. 100 times 16 is 1600 equals 16 times a, or a times 16 is 16 times a. We don't know what a is. We need to solve for it. We divide by the number attached to the variable, which in this case is 16. And on this side of the equation, the right side, I'm left with a, yay, equals 1600 divided by 16 is 100. So the area of our second square is 100, which makes sense because it would be 10 times 10, which is 100. 100 meters squared. This little box up here is where you're going to put number 2 to show it's squared. We're doing area. So let's find the area of the rectangle ABCD. Well, area is length times width. So we're going to go 15 times 12. Let's get a calculator out. 15 times 12 equals 180 inches squared. We need to set up a proportional equation or ratio for this one. So we have two similar rectangles. We know the side lengths, the corresponding side lengths, and we know the area of one of them. Good. So this little symbol means similar to. So like they're the same dimensions. This one's just a certain amount times bigger. It's really the same shape. Okay, so we need to find the area of rectangle EFGH. So let's set up the ratio for the side lengths 5 and 25. 5 over 25. Our next step is squaring those side lengths. 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. 25 squared is 25 times 25, which I don't know right now, so I'm just going to put in my calculator. 25 to the power of 2, or 25 squared, is 625. Now I have to set up a proportional equation. So I've got 25 over 625 equals, what is the area of the little rectangle? Oh, it is 35. I'll put that here. Trying to figure out the area of the larger rectangle. Put my variable there. Now I cross multiply. 25 times a is 25 times a. We can't simplify that more without knowing a, which is what we're solving for. 625 times 35, don't know, go to calculator. And we get 21,875. Okay, now we divide by whatever's attached to the variable, which in this case is 25. So now we can find the area of the larger rectangle. So we're going to plug this in our calculator. 21,875 divided by 25 gives you 875. So we got 875 feet squared. Find the area of triangle ABC. The formula for the area of a triangle is basically like finding the area of a rectangle or a square is basically the length times the width, but for the times 1/2. But for a triangle, we call it the base times the height. So if you look up for the formula for finding the area of a triangle, it's going to tell you like A equals BH 0.5. So it'd be base times height times 0.5, which is equal to 1/2. Or it might tell you base times height divided by 2. Multiplying something by 1/2 is the same as dividing something by 2. So let's do this in our calculator. We're going to go 20 times 6 give you 120, and then you can divide it by 2 and you'll get 60, or you can go 120 times 0.5, whatever you prefer to do. Either way, you'll get 60. Okay, so the area is 60 meters squared. We need to set up the ratio for the sides, square it, and then set a proportional equation. Okay, I know my ratio is 2 to 3. I've got the little triangle represented on the top and the big triangle represented on the bottom. I need to square this. 2 squared, or 2 times 2 is 4. 3 squared, or 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, I'm going to set up my proportional equation. Remember the little triangles on the top and the bigger triangles on the bottom. We don't know the area of the little triangle. That's what we need to solve for. So we're going to put area up here. The area of the bigger triangle is 18. Now we cross multiply. 9 times A is 9 times A. We can't simplify that. 4 times 18 would be 4 times 10 is 40, plus 4 times 8, 32 would be 72. Then we would divide by 9. Did I do this wrong? I'm going to double check. 4 times 18. I think I did. No, I didn't. 72 divided by 9. Area of the bigger triangle, 72 divided by 9 is 8. Okay, so that makes sense. The area was 18 here, and the area is going to be 8 for this one. 8 feet squared. Find the area of triangle ABC. So they have given you an extra number here. What we need to do to find the area of the triangle, we just need to know the base length, which is 8, by the height, which is 6, and then divide it by 2, or multiply it by 0.5, a half. So 8 times 6 is 48, divided by 2 would be 24. You can use a calculator. Oh, yeah, 24 feet squared. Find the area of the square. Well, if this length's 14, this length's 14, the square is, so we're going to go 14 times 14. Length times width. 14, or I'll just square it because 14 times 14 would be 14 squared. 196. 196 meters squared. And we're on to a new lesson.